To run a validation, let's create a new folder in our sample project. Let's call it validation. We will create checks based on the project 2 model. Let's look at its content. To do this, we will go to the viewer. We see 3 walls. We will validate the mark new and mark parameters. So let's find them in the properties. We can see that the left wall doesn't have a parameter mark new. The middle wall has this parameter and its value is 1, and the right wall has this parameter with the value walls. Let's go to the start window, then to the selection catalogs. Let's create a new catalog called validation. In this catalog, we will create one position named walls. On the binding to the selection of elements tab, we will create a binding. Name equally category with a value equal to walls. And after that, click to the diskette icon to save the changes. Let's test this binding at the viewer. We can see that all 3 walls highlighted in green, and that means that our check was passed. Let's start with the validation itself. Let's find the mark new parameter in the properties and create a binding taking into account the hierarchy. Name equally parse, then name equally mark new. Let's run the test. One wall became red and 2 walls remained green. The variable of this check will be named 1. Then we will insert the binding again and make some adjustments. Now we will check mark parameter with the hierarchy, parse, type, and then mark. Let's check all the elements, and we can see that all 3 walls have this parameter. We will paste this binding into our control point and name this variable 2. Then we will create a new variable to find the parameter mark new 1. All 3 walls don't have this parameter, and if we will test our binding, all the elements will not pass the test. Now let's create another variable. We will check if parameter mark with the hierarchy parse, type parse, structural material parse isn't blank. So we checked all the walls. Every wall has parameter mark, but all of them have this parameter with a blank value. So we created new variable, and its name is 4. And let's create the last variable we will check the value of parameter mark new. It should be equal to false. Only one element passed this check. So we copy this binding, go to our catalog and create the last variable named 5. After that we save all the changes and we can go to the analysis results. To see the analysis results, first we need to go to global settings, then create a new selection scheme named validation that will be using our catalog name validation tool. After that, we select our scheme named validation and start the analysis. Our result of analysis is ready, so let's go and see the results. Let's go to selection catalogs and we can see the results. The first wall have passed the first check because it has parameter mark new. And we can see it in the properties. But it doesn't have parameter mark new 1, and we can check it in properties too. Also, the first wall has parameter mark, but it should be not equal to blank, and this element didn't pass this check. We can see that parameter mark is blank. All three walls have passed the second check because all of them has parameter mark. Yes, it's empty, but it does exist. The third wall is the only wall that didn't pass the first check because it doesn't have mark new parameter. The results for the third wall for the third and fourth checks are the same that for the first wall. And only the first wall have passed the this check because only that wall has parameter mark new with the value false. The second wall has value 1 and the third wall doesn't have parameter mark new. Let's note that in the summary column the ratio of passed and failed checks is indicated by color, and all walls are included in the failed all tests because there is not an element that has passed all the tests successfully.